Clicking around on Netflix the other day, I was surprised to see that The Circle had been released in the UK on Netflix. In the US, it was released into cinemas with fanfare, but to just be quietly released over the pond, something was off. No adverts, posters, online buzz made it seem almost like Netflix was trying to hide The Circle from me. I mean, even Mindhorn got a few weeks on the silver screen before being banished, and Man Down had its single screening purely as a tax dodge and so that the film could be ignored at festivals. So why hasn't the same happened here? After all, here's a film in which humanity throws itself into a world that even Orwell would find oppressive, all shot in glorious sunshine, recalling the contrast so apparent in classic 70s horror The Stepford Wives. It wasn't exactly cast with a load of unknowns either. John Boyega is in this, as well as Patton Oswalt, Karen Gillan, Emma Watson, Bill Paxton in his final role, and even film god Tom Hanks in what I imagine to be a gleefully sadistic twist on his good guy image, much like Michael Palin in Brazil. I was intrigued, and with nothing better to do, I clicked play. Which was my first mistake, because everything the film had going for it on paper didn't make it anywhere near the screen. I mean, at what point is it okay to admit that despite her laudable work in the film of human rights, Emma Watson isn't a very good actress? And given that she's in nearly every frame of the film, that's not a good thing. Apparently she took over from Alicia Vikander. You know her, she stars in that robot movie you lie to everyone about seeing, who I think the production should have waited for, or at the very least they should have tried for Anne Hathaway. Nobody seems to be trying with the exception of Paxton, as her MS suffering father, who deserves an indie film in his own right because he's completely wasted here. The film does have an interesting setup. On a bright, sunny day in April as the clocks are striking 13, Watson goes to work for The Circle, seemingly a hybrid of Facebook and Google on steroids, and promptly gets eaten alive by the company's ideals of complete openness and transparency, resulting in what could have been a fascinating idea about idealism gone awry, the right to know versus an individual's right to privacy, the internet's inability to understand subtlety and leap to conclusions, and how this can lead to horrific mistakes that can blight the lives of innocent people. Even the subversion or overthrow of democratically elected politicians by corporations with their own nefarious agendas. Hell, there's so much to deal with here that this could and should have been a television show, with each episode showing the world gleefully throwing away its privacy for some new shiny bauble or promise, the government shrinking and becoming able to do less and less to protect its citizens without outsourcing more and more of its essential roles to The Circle, fueling the rise of a corpocracy, a world that's only a hair's breadth away from our own. And this film squanders each and every opportunity, seemingly with gleeful abandon. Each idea is brought up, glanced at, and then discarded in the film's rush to the next idea, with characters whose names I could barely remember, let alone care about, and it doesn't even have the courage of its convictions, bottling every possible dark moment, or moment that could have been interesting or memorable or have provoked debate. This could have been amazing and mind-blowing and a case of there but for the grace of God go we, but instead, I just couldn't believe the squandering of a film that should have been a blending of RoboCop and Black Mirror. Hell, even the reshoots that took place 4 months before the release of The Circle, which were allegedly to make Emma Watson's character seem more appealing, failed. Apparently, test audience reaction was even worse than previous screenings. No wonder this film has a mere 17% on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, wherever Netflix was hiding this, they should put it back there with extreme force. Full of wasted actors, ideas and themes, The Circle is a mess and disaster from beginning to end. This needs to be a TV series, or at least filmed by a director with a spine and the slightest idea of how to create a tense and psychologically unnerving satire, and not some bozo who's never even attempted anything on this scale before. Unfriend, block, delete and unsubscribe to this and box set Black Mirror instead, because that is what this could have been. Now excuse me whilst I tweet, Instagram, WordPress and Pinterest a review of a film about people sharing their innermost thoughts, feelings, wants and desires with giant corporations. Irony? No, never heard of it. But what do you guys think, and what is your favourite satire? Comment below, let me know. I'm Daniel, this has been A Dunking. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe.